How is it riding, just as far as like steering, suspension, and stuff like that?
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yep. Yep. You don't feel like you have less control, I guess. You still feel very firm on your feet, and you know, it's not like the trailer is pushing or driving you. You know, you still are definitely in command of the trailer, I guess.
Yes. So that's what I was wondering basically, is with it being an older truck and stuff, even though I've gone through and done all the steering and suspension parts and all that, which I know the truck rides beautiful and it rides far better than it ever did when I first got it, but I still had a feeling with it being an older truck that it would still maybe let the trailer kind of guide you a little bit.
Not one bit.
So you're going to be shopping for a diesel later?
I gotta find a diesel to drop in Gage's truck.
Just think, this is an old diesel. Imagine what a newer diesel. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. As you can see, we got the 2001 24 valve Cummins hooked up to the job trailer. Just so you guys have a little bit of background information on the trailer, with it all loaded up with all of our tools, materials, all that stuff, it is a little over 7,000, around 7,000 or a little over pounds. So that's 7,000 pounds or a little above, strapped to the rear end of the 24 valve. And I gotta say, I had Gary drive the truck because he's used to towing the trailer with his truck, and I felt like he would be able to make a fair comparison between how his 2012 4th gen Hemi pulls the trailer compared to my 2nd gen 24 valve, and I just figured that having him drive would give us better information and feedback on how the Cummins pulls the trailer and how well it does. But I did just run into Lowe's and grab a new set screw for our adjustable boost elbow. Finally, I've been to Lowe's about 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 times, I don't even know, since I've lost the set screw in this elbow here, and just forgot to buy one. So we finally got that. Let's see if we can't get that switched out on the truck real quick while he's in there finishing getting what he needs to get. See if we can't get us a little bit more boost. We'll talk about what we're seeing on the EGT gauge and all that, towing the trailer, going up and down little hills and everything later on in the video, because I'm still at work, so we need to finish off the day before we can wrap this video up. But right now, boost elbow. So this set screw that goes in here is a 1/4 by 28. So that is what we got to replace the one that fell out of here. I did get extra set screws too, so if we lose this one, because I don't have Loctite with me and I do want to Loctite this in here so that we don't hopefully lose it again, but I did grab extra ones, so if we put this back on the truck and I get home and realize that this set screw is missing, I can just throw another one in there with a little bit of Loctite and we should be good. We shouldn't lose it again. But I still think I'm going to order a new adjustable boost elbow either way and see if I can't find a slightly better design for this. So there you go, we got that Edge boost elbow taken out of the HX35. Just easy 2-minute swap here in the parking lot of Lowe's. Got that diesel auto power adjustable boost elbow installed back into the HX35 turbo upgrade. We got a nice 3rd gen over there. Crew cab, that's what I need, boys. Nice clean 3rd gen Cummins with 4 full doors. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little video, seeing the 24 valve Cummins hooked up to the work trailer, which is, like I said earlier in the video, about 7,000, around 7,000, maybe a little over pounds, and seeing the old girl get to tow and do some work. It's something that I've been wanting to do now for a little bit, is hook that up to the trailer and tow it, and we want to do a video comparison between Gary's 4th gen Hemi and my 2nd gen Cummins. So maybe one of these weekends coming up, him and I can find some time to get together. We can hook up the trailer and we can take it around on both the trucks and see exactly which one rides smoother, rides better, does better with fuel mileage and things like that. We can try to get a little bit more data logged and see how each of them perform with that trailer hooked up to the rear end. As for my truck though, what we did notice was the boost gauge was typically going to be right around the same, and it gets up there to about like 24 to 28 pounds of boost is where it was riding with that edge boost elbow in there. Then when I switched it over to the diesel auto power adjustable boost elbow, it didn't really change much because I didn't have it adjusted to give it more boost. So the HX35 turbo has just typically been riding right around 24 to 28 pounds of boost, depending on the situation, the type of load that the truck is under, and how hard you're into the skinny pedal. So that was no different, obviously, with the trailer on there. And it did a decent job at keeping the EGTs under control and maintained. What we noticed with the EGT gauge, which was the most important gauge that we were trying to watch and monitor as we were on flat roads going up and down any type of little hills and stuff, what we noticed with it was that it really didn't change all that much from what it is when the truck doesn't have anything hooked to it and the truck is just driving solo with nothing on it. So when I'm just in the truck driving it empty, daily driving out to work, to and from, up and down the main road that I take, which has plenty of steep grades, and we are going to travel that road probably with the trailer to really put this thing through its paces. But when I travel a road like that and then I get into like some flat roads and stuff, the EGT gauge basically rides around 600 to 700 ish, and then when we get into those grades it'll go up to about 900 up to 1,000, and it'll hold steady around a 900, 1,000 range, and depending on how hard I get into it, it may spike up to about 1,100, but I'd really have to get into the throttle in order for it to jump up there to about 1,100 or so, and it doesn't really go up higher than that unless I put the throttle to the floor, in which case obviously it's going to spike up because we do have a lot of fuel being pushed into the truck with the Edge comp box, the 125 horsepower injectors, and the little HX35 can only produce so much boost, so much airflow to keep that added fuel at bay and keep those EGTs down. So what we need to do at this point, guys, is hook up the trailer again to the 24 valve and take it for more of a lengthy drive. We didn't have much time, obviously, because it was in the middle of the workday. We were going from one site to another, and we got to get it hooked up, and I will drive it this time and set up different cameras, get different angles so that we can monitor the boost gauge, the EGT gauge, the tach, the speedo, just see all that stuff, and you guys can see the proof of all the things that you're going to want to know as far as information on how quick do the EGTs ramp up, how high do they get, what kind of boost numbers are the HX35 putting out, and how are those boost numbers helping to keep those EGTs down, or are they allowing the EGTs to skyrocket. All that stuff we need to figure out. We need to get that proof in the videos, and we will do that when we have a little bit more time to get it done. I wanted Gary to drive for this one though, because he is used to towing that trailer with his 4th gen Hemi, and I felt like if he drove my truck with the trailer attached to it, he'd be able to give us a fair comparison between how his truck handles the trailer and how my truck handled the trailer, as far as when you take off from a dead stop, how they feel just cruising down the road, as far as stability, handling, all that stuff. And you heard what he said in the one clip about how the truck just, it really rode well, it handled well, the trailer didn't really have command of the truck still was in full control and felt steady on its feet. So he was impressed with it it too, and I gotta say, man, I'm really impressed with how this old girl did. It just goes to show all that stuff that we've done to it thus far this summer has really just paid off and got it just really feeling like a new truck, driving the way that it's supposed to. It's far better than what it was when I first picked it up. Gary did say that there wasn't a night and day difference with how the truck took off from a dead stop compared to his, but he said that there was quite a noticeable difference. Obviously, with the higher torque output of the 24 valve compared to his Hemi, this one took off much easier and with less throttle. It just handled that weight a lot better and didn't have to strain and stress itself out as much to get going and get up to speed. And I could definitely even feel that just in the passenger seat. And I've towed that trailer with his truck, so I know, I guess, what that feeling feels like from going from a dead stop and carrying yourself up to speed. And you definitely could feel it just even sitting in the passenger seat, but I can only imagine what the difference felt like from the driver's seat. But we'll find that out soon when we rehook it up and I drive it and we get those different camera angles and try to get the fuel mileage and just different things. I want to really see how the HX35 handles the 125 horse injectors with the trailer on it as I travel like the main road that I take every day to and from work. And then in the future we are going to be changing the turbo again. So I wasn't going to tell you guys that, but I am going to do another turbo on this truck. We're going to order in a bigger single, an S300 series, something. I'm still trying to decide whether I want to go 364, 366, 369. I'm not sure yet, but we are going to be getting another turbo here in the near future. I'm just trying to basically figure out which one I want. So I think that we need to get the truck hooked back up to the trailer. We need to travel those main roads with the hills, see how the HX35 does on a steep grade as far as pump and boost and airflow through the truck, to see how it does keeping those EGT numbers in check. But I have a feeling once we get onto a pretty steep, lengthy hill that the HX35 will maybe do decent for about halfway, 3/4 of the way up. But as we get closer to the top of the hill and getting up to where we're going to level back off, I have a feeling that it's going to struggle and it's going to allow that EGT gauge to just climb up there into that danger zone, and we possibly will have to back off the throttle a little bit. But I could be totally wrong too. Now that we got the diesel auto power adjustable boost elbow back in there, if we close that thing right off so it's not letting the wastegate get triggered and open up, it might allow enough airflow to go through to where we might pin out at like 1100, maybe close to 1200, and be able to finish getting up the hill without really backing off the throttle. We didn't have to back off the throttle at all with the edge boost elbow in. Luckily, like I said, the EGT gauge didn't seem to change all that much, and we did go up some pretty decent hills, but nothing like the ones that I travel on a daily basis. And just to give you guys an idea of how big these hills are that I travel on a daily basis to and from work, when the truck is empty and it's just me in the truck going up and down those hills, the EGT gauge is going right up to 1000 and it's holding steady there. Now I can still get into it there and it'll stay at 1000. It won't climb up anymore unless I push that throttle right to the floor, but I have a feeling with the trailer hooked up to it, it would jump right to 1000 quite quickly. And if I were to try and increase my speed on those hills, it definitely is going to climb up to where we don't want it. But I don't want this video to get out of control as far as time frames go. I just wanted to put up a quick video of the 24 valve doing work, towing a trailer, so that you guys could kind of get a little bit of an idea of how it handled it, how it performed, and it handled it well. We wanted to basically just check what the EGT gauge would do, what the boost gauge would do, how it took off from a dead stop, how it braked, how it handled and steered, all that stuff. So we got our idea on that right now, and we definitely are going to hook it back up and take it out onto a road that has a little bit more to offer as far as putting the truck through its paces. So we'll be sure to get that done here sometime soon so that we can get better camera angles, get some more data logged, and then we can put that data to the side, and hopefully then after Gary and I can find some time to get together and hook up his truck and my truck and do a video comparing the two in the same video. So we're going to try to get both those videos done, and then we'll get the new turbo, we'll get it installed on the truck, we'll rehook it up to the trailer, and we'll take it out again and log all the same data that we did with the HX35, and we'll be able to do a fair comparison between how a bigger single turbo handles the 125 horse injectors with 7,000 pounds strapped to the rear end compared to the HX35. As always though, hit that like button on your way out. If you're stopping in for the first time, hit that subscribe button, join the family, and I will see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video, which I plan this weekend to get my tail lights tinted, hopefully get that carrier bearing and U-joint done, and well, we'll talk about more of that stuff in tomorrow's video. Peace!